And I'm glad to see you all. Happy August. Kind of amazing to me that it's August already, but indeed it is. This week's Parsha is Re'eh, which means see. The first line of the Parsha is, see, this day I set before you blessing and curse. So what we're going to do today is really look at this line. We're not looking at the whole Parsha. See, open your eyes, we were just talking about that, and your hearts, which we were talking about last week, right? Last week we talked about cutting away the covering that we put around our hearts to protect us. But this is see, open your eyes, open your hearts, and really see what's before you. See the truth. Notice it all. The joy, the happiness, the pain, the sadness, maybe boredom, maybe wonder and amazement. Whatever's here, see it. Really see it. See what's really here, not what you wish was here. See what's present. Also, I think, see where you've been. If you know and understand where you've been and how you got to where you are, you might really pay a little attention to appreciating what got you here. Your ancestors, your good fortune, being able to take the time to sit right now. It also offers perspective, which I think is really important. Being able to see the long view. And when we can do that, that opens us up to the possibility of seeing the blessings that are before us, which we'll get to more in a minute, and the possibilities that might be forthcoming. So see this day, now, right now, this moment. That's the reminder to be present. See this day I set before you. See, you've got a choice here. You can choose to see or you can choose to not see. I'm setting before you options. And what you choose to see is going to really impact what you see and your further choices down the road. So see, this day I set before you blessing and curse. Blessing. So I think of blessings as those things that are comfortable and comforting and which are pleasant and desirable, make me smile. Curses, on the other hand, I think of as that which is difficult and uncomfortable and undesirable. But what's really interesting is that when we stop and think about this, sometimes our blessings, what we think are blessings, don't turn out to be such great blessings. And sometimes those things that we think are curses aren't really curses, but turn out to be blessings. So I want to tell a story. And this is a story that is very well known, and many of you have probably heard it. And I have heard it told from the perspective of several different ethnicities. And I'm going to tell it my way. So there was a farmer who lived just outside of a shtetl. And this farmer had a son. and his son helped him with the plowing because they didn't have a horse. And all of the neighbors would go, "Oh, this is a shame you don't have a horse. You have to work so hard. It takes you so much longer. It's a terrible thing." And the farmer would go, "Maybe yes, maybe no, who knows?" So one day the son went to the market like he usually did, and he was able to trade for a horse. And he brought home a horse. And all of the neighbors said, "Oh, this is terrific. You now have a horse and you can hook up the plow to the horse and it'll be so much easier for you. This is wonderful." And the farmer said, "Maybe yes, maybe no, who knows?" And one day after plowing the fields and finishing early because they had the horse, the farmer's son decided to go for a horse ride. And he took the horse out and they went for a ride, and the horse stumbled and threw the farmer's son and he broke both legs. See, he's carried home and he's lying in bed with 2 broken legs, and the neighbors come by and, "Oh, this is a terrible thing." And the farmer goes, "Oh, maybe yes, maybe no, who knows?" A week later, while this young man is still recuperating, lying in bed with 2 broken legs, the Cossacks come through and conscript all the young men in the town, except they don't take this guy because he's laid up in bed. So we don't know. We don't know what's the blessing and what's the curse. Another way to think about blessings and curses, I think, is to think of that which is coming from God, however we understand God, as blessings, and that curses are coming from the false gods. And false gods also can be however you think of that. But the 2 primary things that jump to my mind as false gods are the god of materialism and the god of egoism. So with all of this, discerning the difference is not necessarily easy. And I think that having that perspective and the long view and really slowing down and being able to imagine possibilities is very helpful. The other thing that I found really interesting when thinking about this was something that Shefa Gold wrote. She wrote that "See" in this line, "See this day I set before you blessing and curse." "See" is an imperative, and it's an instruction to you, the individual. And she points out something that I would not have known, that the Hebrew for "I set before you" is in the plural, meaning that that line is for the community. So there's this relationship between what I see and how that impacts the community. And I thought that that was really worth noting. So with that, let's take our posture, take our seat, and really feel yourself grounded where you're sitting, be it on a chair or on the floor. You know, sometimes it's nice to not sit. Sometimes it's nice to meditate standing or walking mindfully or lying down. So just want to lay out those options for you. So as you take your position, whatever it is, think of having really good posture. So your shoulders are down and your chest is broad. and your spine is elongated. And you may want to let your eyelids gently close over your eyes. And it's always nice to start with a few nice, deep cleansing breaths. Inhaling fully all the way into the lower part of your lungs. And exhaling completely, slowly, so you have a good exchange of air. Inhaling and exhaling. And I encourage you to do that twice more at your own pace. And now we'll sit in silence.
And you're on mute.
I am so sorry. So I rang the chime and I started reading a poem. I'm going to go back to reading the poem. I absolutely apologize. I thought I had unmuted myself. So the poem is called The Facts of Life by Pedrig Otuma. That you were born and you will die, that you will sometimes love enough and sometimes not, that you will lie if only to yourself, that you will get tired, that you will learn most from the situations you did not choose, that there will be some things that move you more than you can say, that you will live, that you must be loved, that you will avoid questions most urgently in need of your attention, that you began as the fusion of a sperm and an egg of two people who once were strangers and may well still be, that life isn't fair, that life is sometimes good and sometimes better than good, that life is often not so good, that life is real, and if you can survive it well with love and art and meaning given where meaning's scarce, that you will learn to live with regret, that you will learn to live with respect, that the structures that constrict you may not be permanently constraining, that you will probably be okay, that you must accept change before you die, but you will die anyway. So you might as well live and you might as well love. You might as well love. You might as well love. So I apologize for that glitch of forgetting to unmute myself. And we will now end the recording.